Billy Gilmour makes decision after lack of game time under Thomas Tuchel. Why Tammy Abraham was left out of the matchday squad has left Chelsea fans scratching their heads. Chelsea start for Tomori wanted by AC Milan on a permanent transfer, and the player hailed as the next Mason Mount by Chelsea FC fans themselves. Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another Chelsea News Today video where I find the 4 best stories on Chelsea FC and then just make a video out of it, and I upload them every single day. So subscribe so you don't miss out on them. Starting off with Billy Gilmour. Almost forgot for a second. So I've actually been told I look a little bit like Billy Gilmour. I don't really see it. Maybe it's the hair or something. I don't know. To be fair, he's not that much older than me. But anyway, Billy Gilmour, after Thomas Tuchel was appointed, it looked like he wasn't going to get the same amount of game time as he was getting under Frank Lampard. And that's really shown. He really hasn't got the same amount of game time. And he's only really got 1 start, I think it was, against Barnsley in the FA Cup. Now, there were a lot of stories linking him to a potential loan move away from Stamford Bridge, with Rangers, Southampton, I think Crystal Palace, Fulham, loads of clubs interested in the young Scotsman. But Thomas Tuchel ended up taking a massive U-turn and deciding he wanted to keep him at the club for some just experience training with some more class midfielders, like learning stuff off Jorginho, Kovacic and N'Golo Kante. He thought staying at Chelsea and training with the first teams still would be the best option for him. However, I think that might have been a mistake because he's not seen any game time and he's barely even featured in the matchday squad, on the bench included. Now later on, the development squad play Leicester City and Billy Gilmour has been named in the squad to play against that. I don't know about the lineups here, but I probably won't be watching it because it's the development squad. But I think he's too good for the development squad. He scored a goal, an equaliser against Manchester City when he came back from his knee injury, and I think he should be playing in the Premier League. Maybe not week in, week out, but I think Southampton would have been a perfect side for him to go on loan to. But Thomas Tuchel thought otherwise. Now we actually only have 3 number 6/8 midfielders: Kovacic, Jorginho, and Kante. I guess you could say Mason Mount, but he's much better deployed in a more attacking role. So then Billy Gilmour is our 4th option, and if we do play with the 2, then there's the partnership of Kante, Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic, and then Billy Gilmour is our 4th choice, and he's not even making the bench most weeks. So could this mean that Billy Gilmour's going to be relegated down to the development side for the rest of the season and train with the first team and then try and push into the first team next season, or go on a loan move away? I would love to see him get some actual minutes on the football pitch in a professional game, but if that's not what Thomas Tuchel wants at the moment, then fair enough. He's got us this far. We're 4th in the Premier League, and that's all we asked for. So there was a little bit of mysteriousness on the fact that Tammy Abraham wasn't even included in the matchday squad yesterday to face Manchester United. Now I did predict that Olivier Giroud would start up front and Timo Werner was on the bench, but there was no Tammy Abraham. Like, I guess you could say Kai Havertz could have gone up front as a striker. Christian Pulisic ended up going in that middle position, but there was no Tammy Abraham, and I don't really see why we had Emerson on the bench and not Tammy Abraham. We had Alonso, right? So we had 2 left backs, but no out and out striker. So Thomas Tuchel said it wasn't anything to do with an injury, and it was just about just a selective decision. So I don't know what that's about. It seems a little bit peculiar and a little bit suspicious to me. Maybe it's like family reasons or something that we don't know about, something that we don't really need to know about. It might be something private that he just wants to keep away from the media and the public, which is fair enough. Yeah, just fair enough to him. However, could it be linked to the fact that he's stalling on renewing a contract? I don't know. I don't think Thomas Tuchel would just ban him from the matchday squad against a big game, especially the fact that he's been our top striker, I guess you could say. He's our top scorer this season, and he's been playing up front most games. I do think that Tammy Abraham would have had a bigger impact than Olivier Giroud in that game, I was really disappointed with Olivier Giroud's performance. He had a great game against Atletico, scored that wonder goal. Then against Manchester United, he couldn't get the better of Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. He had a great chance from a Callum Hudson-Odoi cross. He was a couple of inches, a couple of centimetres away from glancing the ball into the back of the net. But that was probably Chelsea's biggest chance, I'd say, in the whole game. So when Fikayo Tomori left on loan to AC Milan when Frank Lampard was in charge, Thomas Tuchel had no idea what he's like. He's never trained with him because he left for AC Milan before Tuchel came in. And with him really impressing Maldini, one of the best centre-halves in history in football, he's really impressing one of the best centre-halves in history. That goes to show that he's a very good defender. And Maldini was really interested in a fast centre-half, and Tomori definitely has a lot of pace. He's fitting in really well at the moment, and has got his 4th Serie A start the other day, and AC Milan seems so impressed and interested that they want to sign him permanently. Now, the loan deal was till the end of the season with a £27 million option to buy, but they may want to haggle down a little bit because if you think about it, all the transfers that AC Milan brought in, I think they brought in Mandzukic, Tomori, and Junior Firpo. I don't know if they got Firpo over the line in the end, but they were either loan moves or free transfers, implying the fact that they don't have much money to spend. And I don't know where they'd get £27 million out of, or from, unless they win Serie A, and in which they'll get some money from just being good. I think this is a little bit unfair on Thomas Tuchel though, because he hasn't seen what Tomori can do, and Chelsea may want to have him back at the start of the summer, and Thomas Tuchel just decide, put him in training for a couple of weeks, and then if Thomas Tuchel isn't impressed, then send him or just sell him to AC Milan and sign a new centre-half. But it's very unfair on Tuchel because he's not had a chance to rate him. He can't rate him at the moment. He can't play games for him. He can't train with him, so he can't get in in detail how highly he rates him. I do think Fikayo Tomori fits in really well at AC Milan, and they're going places. They're challenging for Serie A for the first time in a long time, and they're going to try and get into, I don't even know if they're in the Europa League or the Champions League this season. I don't think so. I guess they turned all their attention to winning Serie A, and if they can do it, then fair enough. And Tomori may want to have a piece of that and stay in Italy for the time being. If not, then maybe he can come back to Chelsea and lure Gianluigi Donnarumma back with him, back home to Stamford Bridge, because he's a very good keeper and he's young as well. Okay, lastly, the biggest story of today. Yes, Chelsea aren't buying the next Mason Mount. They already have the next Mason Mount. I'm sorry, I apologise. But Conor Gallagher has been very impressive for West Bromwich Albion this season. And I think if Billy Gilmour went on loan, that's the sort of impact he would have. Now, Conor Gallagher is a bit more of an attacking midfielder, but he presses from the front. He has bundles of energy, but can also come back and defend as well as attack, get goals, get assists. Has a really good corner kick, free kick, set piece technique. Does that remind you of anyone in the Chelsea first team? Mason Mount. Now, we all know Mason Mount came through the academy with the likes of Reece James, Conor Gallagher, Tammy Abraham, Fikayo Tomori, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and now he's pretty much Chelsea's best player. Just hands down, he's probably Chelsea's best player, which is definitely saying something. Being 22 and carrying Chelsea in the Premier League and the Champions League. And I think in the next few seasons, if Conor Gallagher maybe goes on loan to a mid-table team next season, like Ruben Loftus-Cheek has to Fulham, Ross Barkley to Aston Villa, all those three maybe could try and force himself into the Chelsea midfield. Now, I do think Conor Gallagher would have had a better chance in improving with Frank Lampard in charge. Like Frank Lampard managed Mason Mount for 3 seasons in a row, actually, up until he got sacked. Mason Mount learned so much from him, ghosting into the area, scoring long shots, just putting balls over the top. He was really good mentor for Mason Mount, but maybe Mason Mount can kind of have his little, like, teach Conor Gallagher how to be Frank Lampard. He's learned from the master. Now maybe he can pass on some of the mastermindness. Now, if you did not see on the weekend, Brighton. Now, they're a team close to home, but they're very unlucky. They're pounding teams. again and again. Crystal Palace, they had like, oh my god, let me see the stat. I can't find it anywhere, but they've had something like 50 shots in the last 2 games and have scored 1 goal. They were so unlucky to lose to Christian Benteke in the last dying moments in that Premier League game. And I don't know what they deserved to lose to West Brom the other day, despite a very good corner from Conor Gallagher, headed in by Darnell Furlong, I think it was. Lewis Dunk, he shot early from the goal, from the free kick. The ref blew the whistle and the keeper wasn't ready, but he'd already blown a whistle, and Lewis Dunk shot in an open net and scored, but then he allowed it and disallowed, then allowed it and disallowed it, and VAR came in, said allow it, but then the ref checked it and disallowed, then allowed it, then disallowed it. And then Brighton got 2 penalties, hit the bar from one and hit the post from another, then lost 1-0. Anyway, what do you guys think of Conor Gallagher potentially forcing his way into the Chelsea first team? I think he's a very similar player to Mason Mount, and I'd love to see him in the future in a Chelsea shirt. That is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Comment down below your thoughts. Subscribe if you're new around here. We didn't quite get to the 5k mark by March, but we can do it today. We can do it today. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe so you don't miss out on their daily ones. If every single one of you guys subscribed, I'd probably be on about 10k subs. Maybe not that much, but maybe like 7 or 8k. But can we just get like a few hundred more to get 5,000 subscribers? That means so much to me, more than you could ever imagine. Anyway, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, like I said, if you're new around here. Thanks for watching and goodbye.